And
it's a very good morning to the Gelding on Blue Diamond Stakes Day. Group racing back at the Heath, Gilding, and we're really looking forward to what promises to be a great day of racing. Hopefully the rain will stay away.
Yes, good morning, Professor. Good morning, listeners. Hopefully for the Melbourne Racing Club, their premier event during the summer and autumn, Blue Diamond Stakes Day. So let's hope they have a good day. Let's say that it hasn't been a very good couple of weeks for the Melbourne Racing Club, Professor.
Yeah, Gelding. Let's leave it alone. I'm sure everybody's keen for us to get on with the tips. Now, before we go any further, the Professor's Parlay once again salutes from last week, 2-1.
Well done, Professor.
We had Animo running around in Sydney, and what? Tell me about that run, Gelding. Wasn't it amazing?
Just a horse with a great will to win. Animo just got there. It was a bit of a heart and mouth kind of run, Professor, but just got there. So it's had 2 runs back over distances, probably doesn't suit it. Bowman riding well, managed to lift the horse up, and got to say, a good win, Professor. So look, very, very keen on Animo as a horse going forward. Might be a bit of a changing of the guard of, all the top horses this year, and Animo is going to be right up there. So one will probably be following more of, Professor, this campaign as the Sydney races get into their championships and things like that. But look, Professor Parlay may have only been 2-1, Professor, but it's money in the pocket.
Well, we doubled our money, Gilding. You can't do any better than that.
It's just, as we say, you're better off having folding notes than a piece of paper with a horse on and saying you got great odds.
Yes, Gilding. So 9 races on the card at Caulfield today. The first race at 12:40 p.m. And yes, 2 other Group 1 races. Race 6, the Wait for Age Futurity Stakes, and race 8, the Oakley Plate, over 1,100 metres. Originally 5.5 furlongs, Gelding. Now, look, I did some research, as I love to do, for this program on the Oakley Plate. First run in 1947, Gelding, and the purse was £2,000.
Geez, Professor, you could have brought half a Bentley in 1947 for £2,000. That's how I kind of equate the prize money and today's prize money. And again, not something else. I think the Melbourne Racing Club should throw more money at this race. It's a time-honoured race, and now it's worth $750,000. So, you get about a third of a house in Bentley for that now, Professor.
Yeah, well, I also did some research to get into the grandstand, Gelding. Back then in 1947, it was 15 shillings and 6pence. I did the...
what about the guineas, Professor?
The guineas was less, but on the flat, 2 and 6pence it cost. Now, Gelding, I used the Reserve Bank...
And the guineas would have been cheaper.
Yeah, it would have been. Now, Gelding, I did some research from the Reserve Bank calculator, which shows you what that price back in 1947 would be today. Today, That's the equivalent of $55 to get into the grandstand. So things haven't changed much.
Yeah. Wow. $55 to walk in. Oh, well, and if you wanted to sit down and have a meal, Professor, you pay a lot more than that.
Exactly. Notable past winners of the Oakley Plate, Gelding. Weekend Hustler, great horse.
Great horse.
Yeah, here's one that we normally talk about almost every week, Snitzel.
Snitzel, yes. Everyone's got to have a Snitzel.
And Scalacci, another great horse.
Oh, the Flying Grey. And I think Scalacci might have won it 4th up, Professor. at its fourth race start or something like that. It was a Group 1 winner very early on.
Yes, Gelding. All right, now the Blue Diamond, first run in 1971.
Yes,
The purse,
some great winners.
Yeah, the purse back then, $9,750.
Jesus.
Doesn't sound much, does it?
No.
In
And here we are now. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Now that race is worth $1.5 million. You would think that you could get the Oakley Plate and the Futurity Stakes up to $1 million. Like, if you're going to be a Group 1 race now, Professor, you've got to be $1 million, don't you?
Well, I would have thought
so. And I thought that was what Racing Victoria's motto was, but I think you'll find New South Wales Racing, every one of their Group 1s, the minimum prize money is $1 million.
That prize money, Gelding, $9,750, equates to $112,000 today. So, so the purse for winning has certainly increased greater than what it actually turns out would be worth today. Notable past winners of the Blue Diamond, Gilding, the Great Manicato, Redoubt's Choice, Alingi, Extreme Choice. They're all great horses.
Rancher, you can go back to the early ones. Sire Bletchingly won an Oakley Plate, I think, for Armanasco. Zedative was again a very good sire. Maybe we'll be talking in a couple of years. Everyone wants an Extreme Choice the way they're going at the moment, Professor. So,
well, hopefully we'll still be doing the show, Gelding.
Yeah, well, Extreme Choice is throwing good horses now, Professor. So if we can't get a Snitzel, we might get an Extreme Choice.
All right, Gelding. Enough of history. How about we look at today's races? What are your two best bets for today's?
Oh, well, Professor, I'm going early with some trepidation. Worried about the track. The rail was out 3 metres after the fast of last meeting where they watered the track, and of course the water ran down to the fence. So you didn't want to be leading and on the fence at Caulfield, and which is normally the way to go, but they managed to muck that one up too, Professor. So after a very strong blast from Peter Moody in the press, the club they've continued to water the track, but they've moved the rail out 3 metres, Professor, because they reckon if the water runs down, the area that it goes to will be, with the rail being out the 3 metres, that'll cover that. So
they should have known about that, shouldn't they, Gilding?
Professor,
it shouldn't have taken them by surprise.
I was talking to a former person that worked on the track there at Caulfield, and the response was 3 words, Professor, something like no, something idea. And you just wonder that they've paid for that, but let's hope that it's there. And some of our tips are horses that like to lead, Professor, or be on pace and will be down on the fence. So hopefully we're not ruined by something man-made by the watering. So anyway, my first 2 tips, Professor, I'm going early because in the Group 1s I like a couple of horses. So rather than make that decision, I thought we might try and get the listeners some money early, Professor. In the first, I like race 1, number 2, Generation. One last start for us first up, Professor. Sat second, controlled the race. Ma Eustace, leading trainer. Jamie Carr on board. I see no reason to jump off. I think this could be a very, very good horse, but I am worried about a few in this race, Professor. Finance Tycoon we've been on. Mars Mission, a Hawks. Guy McNeil horse has won its last 2, and one that I think will be a good up-and-comer and one to follow will be Mornington Glory. But at this stage, I think I'll be happy to sit with Jamie Carr in a 6-horse field race. He should have Generation Place right on the pace, maybe sitting outside the leader, and I think might just power away over the last 200 metres, Professor. And at round about the even money 220 mark, I think that's not a bad way to start the day. Then in race 2, I like horse number 2, Flying Mascot, trained by Tom Daveney, after he's moved out by himself from the Hazers. Blake McDougall hops on board. This horse, Professor, 11 starts for 4 wins, 3 seconds and a third. At Caulfield last start, was beaten by a short half head. So hopefully it can improve. Was in the Group 3 last start. Drops, this one's also a Group 3, but I just think may just be a good chance to win, Professor. So my tips are race 1, number 2, Generation, into race 2, number 2, Flying Mascot. And you should get about, the even money on both of them. So hopefully we've got a bit of a bank to tackle your tips later in the day, Professor.
Well, that'll be very nice.
Which are?
Okay, I'm starting with race 6, one of the Group 1 races, the Futurity Stakes over 1,400 metres. In that race, Gelding, I like horse 3, Moanga, coming out of barrier 4. It's had 14 wins for 14 starts for 5 wins and 4 placings. So it's got a 36% win rate, a 64% place rate. What I really like about this horse, Gelding, is its first up record, because it's first up today. 4 starts for 3 wins and a place. So if you're looking for a horse that can win first up, Moanga's certainly one. It beat Very Elegant last August at Randwick in the Winx Stakes over the same distance, a Group 1 race. Second in the Mackay Diva to Incentivise at Flemington. Look, Gelding, if this horse is keeping company with Very Elegant, which is one of our favourite horses, and Incentivise, it's hard to go past that horse in this race. I know there are other horses that can possibly beat it, but at $4.60 and $1.60, I think it represents great value. Jamie Carr's in the saddle, 17% career win rate at 28% at the moment. Annabelle Neesham, a trainer we don't talk very much about, from Warwick Farm, she's in career form as well, 17% for the career, but 20% over the last 50. So, you know me, Gelding, winning form's good form, so I can't go past Moanga.
Oh, look, Professor, I like it. I think the horse is undefeated at 1,400, Professor. And maybe, as we said, it's racing against the top shelf of horses in Australia. The proven Group 1 winners, undefeated first. It has been defeated first up, but as you were saying, 2 wins or 3 wins first up. 1,400. Couple of good chances to Fane and I'm Thunderstruck horses we're back before, Professor, but I don't mind it. Jamie Carr, Annabelle Neesham, taking all before in Sydney, used to be the foreman in Sydney for the Mar Eustace team, so it's some good trainers. I like it, Professor. As you said, you're getting each way odds from a horse that's beating Group 1 champ, very, very good horses in Group 1 races. So, why not?
All right, Gelding, and then let's go to race 8, another Group 1, the Oakley Plate over 1,100 metres. I like in that race, horse 5, Marabi, coming out of barrier 2. Hasn't put a foot wrong, Gelding. 6 wins from 6 starts, 100% record. It's won at the track. It's won over the distance. It keeps rising in class and keeps winning. It won a listed race at Caulfield on Boxing Day. I think it was the Christmas Stakes.
Yeah.
It also won the Australian Stakes at Moonee Valley by 3 lengths. Look, I've watched it on tape. I've tried to find a reason why not to pick it. I can't. Ben Allen is in the saddle, 11% career win rate over the last 50, 18%. Now, Gelding, he hasn't won a Group 1 race. I think on Marabi, it might break the duck for him. He'll certainly be trying his best.
Oh, well, Professor, I think Ben Allen the horse has got 54. And you there, Professor?
Yeah, your name's come up, Gelding.
Right.
Yep, all good.
Sorry.
You're back. Now you're gone.
Someone's trying to ring, Professor. Another owner have dropped the mic.
All right, well, we better hurry up, Gelly. All right, listen, trained by Ma Eustace, who are in career form, 24% at the moment. Look, you can't go back past that. And you can get $2.80, which I did this morning, and $1.45. Yep. So it represents value for the punters, Gelding.
Oh, Professor, as we said, we'll talk a bit later about this horse. We both like it. We've been on it. Yeah, big step up, I suppose, in Oakley Plate. And the Oakley Plate not being a favourites race, but this horse has been winning quite well. Up against some proven Group 1 winners today, Professor. So obviously its biggest test. But when you're almost getting 2-1, Professor, for an undefeated horse that is winning by margins and running fast times, Ma Eustace have stuck with Ben Allen, who's ridden the horse, doesn't get many opportunities in Group 1. So I think this young boy will do everything to try to get his Group 1 winner up, Professor. So he rides the horse well, and let's hope it salutes.
All right, Gelding, we can now turn to the very successful Professor's Parlay.
Well, I've got to add more than one successful into it, Professor. It's become the very successful Professor's Parlay, hasn't it?
It hasn't done too badly, Gelding, in recent time. We've been doing very well. All right, our agreed bet of the day, race 8, horse 5, Marabi.
Yeah.
I don't think we can go past that at $2.80. And let's parlay that into Brisbane women's team to beat West Coast. West Coast playing at home, but Brisbane have a 71% win record. They lost a close one to Melbourne during the week. They've scored the 3rd most points in the comp. West Coast have only got 1 win, and that was against the bottom side, St Kilda. So I really prefer Brisbane in this match.
Yep.
And let's parlay that into the Premier League. Man United playing Watford. Watford 3rd last. Man United 4th and have to win to retain 4th and a spot in the Champions League. They've scored the 5th most goals in the comp. And at $1.30, Man United at home showing good value. So all up, Gelding, the parlay showing 4-1.
Beautiful, Professor. I like it. And again, very successful. Of course, we do find the hardest league being the racing league, because there's certainly more competition in that. But I do like Marabi today. So let's hope we can start today off with a win and get the first leg of the Professor's successful parlay up.
All right, Gelding. Well, only a couple of things we have to say to finish off the show. Number one, if you like our show, please subscribe to the Sportsfan Radio channel. Like what you see and even forward it so other people get to see the show as well. Sportsfan Radio tomorrow, Gelding, from midday. Unfortunately, you'll be heading to Ballarat to watch a horse that you have an interest in run around.
Yes.
And we certainly hope that you'll be successful in coming home a winner.
Drop the mic goes around in row 6 tomorrow, Professor, at Ballarat. Hopefully maybe a bit of an each way chance. Hasn't been successful first up before, Professor, but has run 3 seconds out of 4 attempts. So hopefully a good run. But as I was talking to you off air and sent you the text, there seems to be some good horses in this race from leading stables with awfully good jockeys on board. So, we're around about the each way at $10, Professor. So, maybe if the punters even go the old theory of 1 a win times 3 a place might be the way to go.
Sounds good to me, Gelding. All right, Gelding, until next Saturday, and that's racing. It's good luck.
And good punting.